Hello everybody and welcome to another Tech Minute video. My name is Tom from 6 Foot Networks. Thank you for joining me. I know it's been a while since I actually did a Tech Minute. I've been a little busy with the Chevy Bolt EV community, but here I am to those that are more worried about the network and system side of what I do. And I wanted just to share a little bit of progress today. So I finally got a chance to tear my entire office network apart, and it's very rough to say the least. Like, I'll turn around here. I have fiber optical OM2 cables, single mode cables that are just draped between switches, between routers. So forgive that. That'll be put in a conduit at some point. But let me start at the main rack here, because I really spent a lot of time cleaning this up, and I thought I'd share the progress here. So there's the rack. I've decommissioned the RV260. I will be putting it up for sale at some point, but right now I need to just make sure that the break-in period for all this equipment kind of passes. I'll give it a couple weeks, and then I'll list this on Marketplace for sale. And so basically what we have here is we have the 3800 series ISR router, the integrated services router, that is handling all of the routing. This is a multi-layer switch. However, I honestly did not have the time to do layer 3 routing on it, and I didn't want to break the configurations that I already had in place because this is a production system. I will set up one of the other switches that I have over there on the shelf as a layer 3 switch just to do some routing practice, and I'll tie it into this switch with regards to, you know, just routing between, say, a lab network and the production network. So this switch has 6 VLANs on it, essentially dividing all of the roles and responsibilities of this office, including the workstations, the wireless, the guests, the out-of-band management, which is a must, and IoT and a few other. I think I did a server VLAN too. So that's all done here. And inter VLAN routing works. This is a router on a stick configuration. So if you're doing your CCNA or above, you'll probably recognize that term. Essentially, every switch on the network through trunks, these are trunks, has to find a router in order to route between VLANs. Otherwise, these switches do have the routing capabilities built in. However, they are currently disabled. So, like I mentioned, I have 3 of these switches. They are trunked together via optical cabling. I know it's overkill. The idea was practice. So here is my conference table switch, which, again, the mess is extreme, but it does work. That laptop right there is doing Open Drive uploads, so it'll continue doing that for a while longer. I managed, just kind of a side note, I managed to find a 10 gig SFP Intel network interface. So the next server I get, that's going in it for a true 10 gig. Actually, there's 2 ports on that, so it'll be 20 gig connectivity. And finally, I'll bring you guys over to my desk. Here is the last 48 port. You guys probably recognize these 2 switches because these were the ones that were previously on the conference table as well as over here underneath this laptop. The reason I put these on the shelf is because, well, they're 24 port, but I mean, I could use 24 ports. They don't have any fiber uplinks though. And also their iOS feature set is base IP only, or IP base, I should say, only. So I'm still considering what to do with these. I may list them for sale because the other ones are working great. And they are all tied in with OM2 cables. So my trunk lines for these switches are, this guy has an ether channel. Let me bring you down here. This guy has a layer 2 ether channel. so that way spanning tree doesn't block one of the ports. I have full bandwidth. I have 2 gig bandwidth coming out of this switch going into that switch, and then the router above it is doing all the inter VLAN routing as well as NAT. And I guess that's it for now. There's no port forwarding because there's no services in here that need to be gotten to from the outside. And that's pretty much it, I think, for this one. It took a while to put together. A lot of stuff went wrong. And a lot of it had to do with the fact that, you know, when you don't do something every day and you're just like constantly relearning the same thing that you've learned previously, you're gonna make mistakes, and I made a lot of mistakes. But today I finally, you know, took all the mistakes that were in this room and I totally ripped them out, including that RV260. Not to say that that was a mistake. The problem is its capacity was very limited and it didn't handle VLAN tagging quite right. It did a good job if you were doing, if you were just using it as your router as well as your switch. So your SVIs were in there, your switched virtual interfaces were in there, as well as I guess all of the VLAN handling too. But it had some issues. I had to reset it to factory defaults and then reset it all up. The site to site between here and my house kept flapping. In the middle of the night it would just go away, so I just went around it. I got rid of it, and now I use just client-based VPNs to get into this office. But yeah, I mean, it works. All of the systems are on their separate VLANs, and you know, the security VLAN, also known as the IoT VLAN, is separate and restricted, so you know the other devices can't get to it. Also, I currently only have one access point right there. That is a Netgear, I think it's a WAX610 access point. I did a kind of a review on that a while ago, but I have not done the VLAN tagging on it, and I probably won't do that just because I feel like access points shouldn't have to do routing or processing or tagging of VLANs. I just feel like that'll impact them even more. They're already underpowered as it is, so it would just be easier to put, you know, another device in here for guest, you know, for guest access, and then just let the multi-layer switch there handle the VLAN tagging. Yeah, you know what? Come to think of it, you guys are gonna love this, especially if you're old school Apple fans. This is my original wireless deployment, and I used to use this for years. You know, this was set up as a router back in the day, you know, with a 4-port switch, actually a 3-port switch and an internet interface. Plus you could tie in some storage, and it had a Kensington lock right there. So this was Apple's finest at you know, what, a decade ago, maybe 12, 15 years ago, I don't know. But that access point might become the guest Wi-Fi in this office. So if I have, you know, clients come in here, or heaven forbid, it should look like this when my clients show up. But I got a lot of stuff done in here too, you know, but the point is that I'm chopping away. You know, work comes first, clients come first. All of this comes second. And the fact that I got this office network squared away today is probably the largest miracle in this office, at least. And it works. And here's some fun for you. This was something that my son Eddie saw at Walmart during the holidays, and I couldn't resist. So Eddie, if you're watching this one's for you. Gotta love it. All right, that's pretty much it. Thanks for sticking around if you're still with me. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you really like this video and want to see more of this, please consider subscribing to the channel because it does really help us out and it allows me to create more content like this for you. In the meantime, good luck with everything. Take care, and until next time.